and welcome once again to an uncharacteristically sunny London for the PKR London Cash Game. Our group of qualifiers and pros have been jostling for their moment in the sun, but there's a certain someone intent on putting everyone else in the shade, Mr. Vladimir Geshkenbein.
Play 5 folds.
Well, he's been bluffed off it by the Russian.
Play 6 bet.
He's got him to put it down. The power of a bet. Be in a very bad spot if he does call this. And sadly for Jason Chilmaid, that's all she wrote. And then the river has just improved it again. He's got trip jacks now. Will Sofia give him credit for a king in his hand? Certainly won't give him credit for 2 in his hand. Well, he's got her to call. Okay. Oh, look at this. He's made quads. Way he plays, he could have anything.
Play 2 calls.
She's called. Music to his ears.
Whoa.
Shows him with pride.
Oh. That's how it works.
One thing to get quads, but he has got paid big time.
Without further ado, let's join our commentators.
Thanks very much, Laura. James Sudworth is in seat 1. He's nearly $600 to the good. Something of a contrast with Sofia Lovgren, who's down nearly $2,000. Daniel Musa has just joined the table. Marc Bariller had to rebuy. Needs some luck today, the Frenchman. Ashley Hames had that big double up early, so he's in a very nice position. And Geshkenbein, wow. 3.5k to the good.
It's like new at the time, like.
Play 6 straddle.
I'm Trevor Harris, Simon Hemsworth alongside me. No reason to think, Simon, really, that the Russian is not going to go from strength to strength here.
No, I think with the confidence he'll have gained from winning those big hands in the session so far, I think he'll just continue as he has been.
And pocket threes for him is a gargantuan hand.
Absolutely.
Continue folding.
Well, he's decided not to bump it up.
You can change.
King.
It's a lesson that many can learn about Geshkenbein. There is this image that he's loose, and yes, he floats lots of flops, but he does mix his game up a lot, and that makes him very difficult to play against.
5 checks, 6 checks.
Yeah, I mean, my experience with him is as much as he plays a lot of pots, you find when the big money goes in, when there are big pots, he does have a big hand.
Well, his threes are good here, along with the sixes on board.
Gets 2 deviants with chest.
Ashley's made it 25, just because that's the only way he could possibly win the pot. He is playing the board.
6 folds. 25 to call.
And he's managed to take Vladimir off the better hand.
Strawberry blonde.
Play 4 folds. Play 5.
Well played, Ashley. A hard-earned $40.
Ashley's made a good start to the to his session so far.
Nothing like doubling up early to give you that confidence injection.
Yeah. You never know with Ashley though. There's always a moment of spew just around the corner.
Play 2 folds. Play 3 folds.
There was a rumour that he actually found a hairbrush the other day, but I don't think that's been proved.
No, I think that's his
Play 4
style.
bets, raises to 60.
Decent pocket pair here for James, but a better
Play
one
5
for
calls.
Ashley.
Play 6 folds. 40 more.
Interesting that Ashley just called Bariller's raise, and presumably he was trying to induce a raise behind him. That's what's happened.
Yeah.
240 noted.
I think James is in the straddle, and tens is a huge hand to get in the straddle because nobody ever really gives you credit for having anything at that point.
240, yeah, 180 more.
So Ashley's trap might
Play 6 calls. Play 5
work
calls,
well
sorry.
here. Kind of surprised he didn't just bump it up right then and try to get stacks in.
Well, I guess maybe he's just trying to maintain the story he was telling with the initial call.
Yeah.
Trying to
9.
maintain that he's a lot weaker than he really is.
4.
And if this comes a low board, and it has,
Bad chips.
Ashley could get paid off massively here.
And that's considering how he's played the hand so far, that is an ideal flop.
320.
It's always difficult to
bet
trap
320.
usually with queens because the board so often gets nasty, but that flop was brilliant for him.
If he could have put 3 cards down there, other than put another queen on there, that's pretty close to
Yeah.
what he would have wanted.
Yeah, definitely.
28.
Loads is James' standard response to being asked for a count.
Well, I mean, if Ashley just went for it now, James would find it really difficult to fold his tens there.
What's the trying?
320. Player 5 calls.
Softly, softly catchy monkey here for Hames. It's not going to like that card too much.
Yeah, that is the difficulty is there's a lot of action killing cards on the turn.
And certainly before that cowboy arrived, you can bet your bottom dollar Subworth thought he was ahead.
I think he still will
Yeah.
think that he's winning here, but he might now be more thinking about what can I get Ashley to call with that's worse than tens.
510.
Player 1 bets 510. Yeah? Thanks.
$510 is the bet.
510.
I'm not really asked about the king.
You're not asked
No,
about
I'm
the
not
king.
asked about the king.
See, with his odd line he's taken in his hand, he's just put himself into a
I'm asked
tricky
about
spot,
those two
and
birds.
he's got a bit confused
I get a fold.
because he's gone now
Player
from.
5 folds.
Oh, Ashley.
Wow. What did he put Subworth on
I
it?
don't know. I don't really know. Because he just said that he didn't think the king made any difference, so it was.
Thanks for the money, Ash.
I'm not really sure because it seemed
2,
like he
4
was
and
in a
6.
trappy mode
It's okay.
pre-flop,
2 more hands each, okay?
and then he changed his mind kind of post-flop into oh no, but maybe I'm not trapping. Maybe he just has a better hand. I
He's
don't
going
know.
to hate seeing this hand on television, isn't he?
Yes, I think. I mean, if he'd have gone with that on the flop, I don't think James would have folded,
Line, please.
considering what Ashley's like, and Ashley's known for going a bit crazy with hands a lot worse than tens on that flop. So
Because I thought the start of the hand, he played it brilliantly. He kind of sold this image that he was kind of reasonably weak and then just couldn't carry through with it.
I'm really
5
surprised he
calls.
folded on the turn
6
there.
folds.
You got there.
I think maybe he might have just been, oh, I doubled up. I don't really
Okay,
want to
one
lose my money back. I'm not sure.
8, 3, 9. Madam. Player 2 bets 40. Player 5 calls.
Interesting call from Hames. He's
5.
got the gut shot. Improves to a pair of fives.
Player 2 checks. Player 5 checks.
It's actually in position. It's a good board to float with that hand. He's got a bit unlucky on the river though.
$155 in there. So what you going to bet?
Player 2
100.
bets 80.
80 is good enough, and
And 5
too
folds.
much for Ashley Hames.
It's a nice river.
Another poker player who's speaking the truth.
So
What's
Talk
going
about
on?
that hand later, yeah.
It's fine, it's not a problem. I just want to rub it down some more so we can get some more pots. That'd be great. I want to rub down the most.
Still a long way back.
I think Ashley's still a bit frustrated about that previous hand, wondering what James had.
Well, here's how they stand then. Geshkenbein is 3.5k to the good. Must be nice. We've got a new player, Scott Shelley, about to join the table.
So I'm now joined by Scott Shelley. You haven't gone in yet,
No.
but you've been watching a little bit of the action, so I
Yeah,
hear?
we've been watching the action in the green room. Can't see the whole card, just a bit sort of not know what's going on exactly, but it looks
Yeah.
like fun, anxious to get involved.
Going to go in, you've got 2,000. Any sort of strategy that you can tell us about?
I wouldn't say I have a strategy. I'd like to kind of mix it up, see what happens, get a feel for the table and just go from there.
Tell us a little bit about what you normally play online. Are you a cash game regular, or do you like to play tournaments more?
I'd pretty much say up until about a year ago, 95% of my play was tournaments. And recently, like last year, I've been trying to get more into cash games. And I've played a bit of 5-10 before in Vegas, but this is like my 5th time playing it. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's daunting, but I'm looking forward to it.
What's the sort of mindset changing from tournament play to cash game play?
Tournaments, it's all about just your tournament life's on the line at all times. Cash game, you've got a bit more movement, you can be a bit more different and try different things and without risking your life.
It's a bit more relaxed, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And the banter seems quite good at this table, I think, as well.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
going to get in there and chat away?
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows each other, we're all friendly. It's not going to be like sort of feeling each other out more, like everyone knows each other, so we'll just be getting to it.
Okay, well, best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of British to Scott Shelley's taken over in seat 2. Sophia has left us. Scott Gledhill is now in seat 4. And Kyle McPherson in seat 6. So Vladimir's taking time out.
Pass seat 6.
60.
Does always change the dynamic a little bit, Simon, when you have 3 new players join at once, because the others aren't exactly sure how they're going to fit in with the way that the table's been playing.
No, I mean, as far as I know, though, all these players know each other anyway, so they'll have an idea of how each other play and things like that. So it's not like a completely sort of new, fresh face coming to the table that you know nothing about.
Check. Seat 4.
Paired board.
70.
Gut shot for James, who's going to bet it.
Pass.
You checked before you saw the last card on that flop, Scott.
I know.
He's like, how am I
And one bet was good enough, and that's another little pot for James Sodworth, who's going from strength to strength at the moment
I know James
and enjoying every minute of it. The action continues in just a minute.
Around the mantle.
Good one. I tried wearing Sophia's. They fit me.
Blinds
Scotty, what I thought
$5
you were gonna
and
get
$10 if you're just joining us. Blinds in a cash game never increase, although you can straddle,
What time did you wake up?
as happened here.
Seriously.
I woke up at like.
So the player
I woke up
to
at
the
like 5
left
a.m.
of the big blind can double that,
We didn't go to
make
bed
it
till
20.
3.
Moose has picked up a suited slick.
Pass seat 5.
At
Pass
4, seeing
seat
your face
6.
that you were still out.
Oh, really?
I was like, I've had a sleep already.
Oh no, Dan. Oh god.
You raised my straddle.
It's only Dan, isn't it?
Come, so keep it going.
This is when you're
Seat 1.
glad there's been a straddle, Simon, when you're sitting there with ace-king suited.
Pass seat
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, Dan's known as quite a tight player. He doesn't tend to go too mad without holding something. And I guess James sort of
Takes
knows
one.
this, which is why he's called with his 10s, but he's hit a nice flop here.
Yeah, Sodworth has a set. Moose,
85.
understandably, will make the C bet. Sodworth will go into the tank, and at the very least call,
This is the hottest
may
one,
very well raise.
but not a great deal hot.
The absolute nuts as we stand.
Terrible for a day.
James is sitting there hoping that Dan has an overpair, but it's going to be hard to extract much money from him, really. He's just got ace-king.
Would you just like a flat call? I mean, now we can see the cards,
I
Simon.
think if I couldn't see the
Seat
cards,
5,
I
seat
would
1.
raise like James has
Right.
as well. I mean, obviously it's easy to say, but
Pass.
Oh,
Seat
that's
3.
frustrating.
Oh, sick. He squeezed and
No,
I
I think-
aces and then he went about to pot.
I think the raise is better than
Every time Dapper Dan.
just unfortunate for him. Dan didn't have anything.
Brick the flop.
It's unbelievable.
I didn't hear
Straddle
any
seat 3.
sigh there, mate.
Eh?
Didn't hear a sigh.
No, well, it's you.
When you are in real trouble is when that board comes
Yeah.
ace-10,
For sure, I was
X.
thinking.
and then Musa would have had a real problem getting away
Yes.
from it.
Yeah, he definitely would have got a bit more action if that was the case.
Your 5, please.
That'd be doing pretty.
It's pretty annoying that it was like 2,000.
And straddle's almost compulsory at the moment.
That must be
Musa
good.
has straddled here.
It was
Pass
quite
seat 4.
scary.
With Dapper in there, you've got like no flush draw in his range.
55,
I
seat
think the
5.
worst you get in with like his second nuts or the straight flush draw.
Ashley never needs much to raise it up. McPherson's actually got the 10s here.
We'll start picking on you soon.
For me? See me? Good
Yeah.
luck with that.
Raise.
Yeah, this is pretty
110, seat
standard.
6.
Have you guys seen all my notes?
Raise from Kyle.
Yeah, he made notes on everyone.
I have A4 pages.
Did you have notes
The one on
there?
yours is the
No,
funniest.
Quite a
No,
difficult
no,
spot
no.
for Dan here
I've got loads
with
of
those
what-
screens.
What he says about you is hilarious.
Oh, well, I look forward to reading that, mate.
It's completely. Oh no, it's grammatically.
It's one of those annoying, difficult spots where all the
Yeah.
options seem quite rubbish. Reweighting
Yeah.
seems
No, I just
like
did
it
the notes.
could be leading to trouble. Calling leaves you a bit
That's already standard.
vulnerable, out of position, and a lot of flops that won't be very favourable. And obviously folding really tight.
It's
No,
along
I-
those lines.
I have a feeling one of my things is he comes all
275,
in.
seat 3.
He comes
It's
all
gone
in.
for the aggressive
It
route,
doesn't
which
feel
is
like I wrote that.
usually
It feels like my dad wrote that.
the best
Is your dad a little
in poker.
Oh, no, that's not called.
Suddenly all gone very quiet round the
Yeah,
table.
but with deep stacks, he's always become a lot more difficult. These sort of hands like 10s.
The 275.
Yeah. Cool.
So the classic confrontation. Over cards against the underpair. And the underpair good so far. You would imagine this would go check, bet, fold, but
It's just unfortunate with ace queen when you do check, you're just waving a white flag, and any other hands that Kyle could possibly have that. I guess it's kind of hard to have a hand worse than ace queen
175.
in this
seat
situation,
6.
but you're just going to lose the pot every time you check.
it's a fairly small bet though, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like that bet sizing because it's just you could feasibly do it with a bluff, a really cheap bluff, but also you're really tempting your opponent to either
Okay.
just call you down or maybe try and bluff you out of the pot himself.
Start playing properly.
Judge
The old
seat 4.
crop top.
So some early chips
blind raise.
for
Blind
McPherson
raise,
here.
Things going
seat
out.
5.
Actually shares a flat with Scott Gledhill, who's
It's 50 to play.
about to make the decision here.
Raise.
100, seat 6.
Straight in again, McPherson with the raise. With only
Seat
king 9.
Has seat 3 and 4. Cool.
Hames just love to see flops.
Oh wow.
Check seat 5.
Are you not still in the hand?
This is action here.
Hames certainly isn't going to fold this flop.
So McPherson flops the straight.
125,
Hames
seat 6.
up and down, and with second pair.
3 of them.
I mean, if someone's got like a 2 pair or something. Then
Oh, that's a
Check
really
so
really
far.
bad card for Ashley.
I always get picked on.
He's now drawing to chop the king, and he's going to find it really difficult to fold a straight here.
$4.85 in there already.
50, seat 6. Call, seat 5.
If I
Hames
was,
thinks he's trapping, doesn't he?
if I was Carly, I would have bet a bit bigger on that turn because
Check,
I think
seat 5.
if he does have a 9, he's calling all the time, and he only bet about half pot there.
How much does he bet then? 985. That
Yeah, I
looks
mean,
like 600 and something.
Yeah, it looks like now he's mashing the pot a bit more.
Call, 675 and a call.
Well, at least he only called. And, This is when you hate the game, isn't it? You think you got the pot locked up and you see the better straight.
Yeah, that's just really unlucky.
6, 7, 5.
That's the seat.
That's the seat right there.
Only 2 hands beating him. One of them McPherson had, and the other was Ace King.
You shut the flop.
He can't reproach himself too much for that. I mean, I think most players, you got to lose chips in that kind of
Yeah, I mean, the only criticism you could say of him was pre-flop. Is you could often you get yourself in trouble if you call out a position with hands like Jack 9 offsuit. But post-flop was just it was a really bad turn for him, and he was definitely going to lose more chips from that point onwards.
You didn't get me anywhere, mate.
He went after you on the bottom.
Yeah, he went after me.
You defended Fog's mentioned reputation.
Pass seat 1.
Yeah, like a boss.
Pass seat 2.
Free flop king at it
60,
again.
seat 3.
Absolutely bossing the table.
Speed limit here for Musa. Pocket 5s.
Seat 5. Seat 4 passed and 185 seat 5.
Oh, Hames has maybe reached his tilt level.
How much you playing? You lost quite a big time. Worry about.
Call that the flat tyre hand,
Oh,
don't they?
that's
As in,
yeah.
what's a Jack for?
Yeah, it's good, that one.
Call.
Thing is that if Hames follows through on a high board or anything without a
5,
a 5 on it, as it happens, he's hit top pair.
Yeah, top pair anyway. But
Pass.
Made it somewhat easier to bet.
Good
He likes to show. What do you think about that tactic, showing cards like that?
I think in a fun
Hold the deal.
live game like this, I think showing cards is quite good for sort of, just the atmosphere of the game. From a purely strategic point of view, it's usually not very good.
Yeah, because it's generally perceived as free information,
Yeah.
but they're all mates here.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, folding.
It's always fun, especially showing a bluff. It's always fun, and it's fun for Ashley to show that he 3-bet him with Jack 4 offsuit.
Mate, Queen 4 off used to be my favourite hand.
When was
Not
that?
ashamed to declare that on telly. That was when I was like
65 seat 5. Pass seat 6.
That was when what?
I was like 11.
Oh, Ashley's woken up with a big hand here, with probably quite a tilty image, so he
Pass
could
seat
get
1.
could get some money out of this.
Call seat 3.
He gets the right flop anyway. Dan's not having much success so far.
Well, no raise with the Ace King.
Check seat 3. Check seat 5.
He who bets wins, I think, at the moment. It's a gut shot for the Ace King, of course, but
75 seat 3.
Dan's made top pair. Ashley has a nut flush draw.
and there it
There
is.
it is. And he's made top 2, but when it goes 4 flush,
Check seat 3.
Dan's not going to love his hand.
Yeah, you can't see him losing too much here. He has checked it. So what does Hames bet? A little 100 or so? I don't know. Try and get some value from it.
Yeah, I'd actually quite like a big bet. Just in case Dan did have
Yeah,
some
I was
random
well,
low
I did it
diamond,
before someone else did it. It was like,
and actually having just sown Jack 4 offsuit,
rode the horse like to the shops and that. Yeah. Christ.
it could work, but
No, you're not actually. I had a call back.
we'll see.
I'm gullible, but I'm not.
So why would you ever choose the horse?
He's gone big.
275 seat 5.
He's gone about pot.
Who was the horse?
It was mine, like the guys who were in the house.
They lent you their horse.
Yeah, they're 3.
Came with the horse.
Usually it's like free water bills.
Can't see Musa calling this, to be honest.
It's sort of hard for Ashley not to have a diamond here.
Well, let's see.
Ace King again. Ace King. Ah.
Ace King, King of Diamonds.
Yeah.
Close. Close.
It's incredible, that.
Really a perfect read.
Was it Jacks with no diamonds?
No, better.
Whoa!
Do you have a set of queens?
So many questions.
Seat 4.
and so few answers.
It does.
It does. I just don't
Have you
complain
not
about
got
it every
Twitter?
30 seconds. Like,
No, he's more like.
Here's the state of affairs then. McPherson with a roaring start. $1,500 there or thereabouts to the good. Subworth has just a few minutes left. He's nearly $1,400 up. And Hames, with his novel style of play, nearly $500 to the good. The big loser is Musa, although he has plenty of time to recover those losses. We're back with more action in just a moment. Welcome back to London.
Every time we lose a pot or don't get a hand.
You're watching the PKR London Cash Game. James Sudworth nearest the camera with just 2 or 3 hands left before he has to leave. We're playing a rotational system here.
Why you fold blind?
Least protected straddle.
There's plenty of chat round the table.
I will. Can't lose any money.
Yeah, Ashley just said that he called the straddle blind,
60.
which is probably why he's in the hand with Queen 3 offsuit.
Go mental, James.
180.
Mental.
180, seat 1.
Yeah. That's all we like to see. Everybody with nothing but lots of money going in.
Pass,
Raise, I'm
C2.
knocking kings. I don't care.
Pass,
It's out of there.
I think this raise is just because he knows his days are numbered, as it were, in terms of his table time here.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to nick a few more chips, and it's worked
Do you
perfectly.
agree to show one?
Yeah.
Who won?
Who picks the player or?
Player who loses.
Sorry?
Actually, it's more fun if player who wins.
We'll have a chat after.
Straddle, seat 5.
It's not a big
If
deal.
everybody agrees to it, it's okay by me, but obviously,
Pass, seat 6. Pass, seat 1.
Just open shove last time before lunch for jokes.
For jokes. Get snapped
Suited cards
by
here for Shelley.
60, seat 2. Pass, seat 3. Pass, seat 4.
this is sick.
Call, seat 5.
No surprise that Ashley's peeling one off with 3-6. 3 clubs would be interesting. 3 spades, in effect.
50, seat 5. Pass.
Yeah, baby. No pair, no draw.
Not afraid to fire chips in, Ashley Hames.
Not much Scott can do there, really, with no hand at all.
So James leaves the table, but Hames and Shelley are still there, and there's a little bit of history between the two, to say the least.
The one player that I really want to, rub his nose in the dirt is Scott Shelley. He's on my table. It was going to be Bain, Vladimir Geshkenbein, but he heard I was on the table and he was like, Christ, get me away from Hames. He's a very fearful young man despite his reputation, and he knows I'm the danger man. Now I've got Scott Shelley. Well, that's perfect for me, because me and Scotty have a little bit of history. One quite big tournament we played recently, I had kings against his ace-10. He goes over the top. I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll call. And it was a reluctant call because I just know he's going to spike his ace. Indeed, he did. And he went on to win that money at a time when I needed it. So for me, there's a little bit of a niggle there. And, he's credit to him. He's won a bracelet. But this time, I want to make him look stupid.
Well, nothing like ramping it up. I actually love niggle in poker. A bit like boxing. You want the two fighters to not really like each other much. In poker, it can be dislike, or it can be just a rivalry, and you're just desperate to get the better of your nemesis.
Yeah, I find as well when you got history of people online, you often get
Fair 2 bets 25.
some quite nasty rivalries. I think it's a bit easier to be mean to people online than in live, though. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, people tend to be more friendly in real life.
Queen 3.
Ashley's a lovable guy, though. I think he loves Scott, really.
Well, Shelley's flopped good here, but unfortunately, Ashley's not got much to take it on with.
2 bets 25. Go 5 folds.
It's almost a look of disgust, wasn't it, from Shelley? No business at all with his trip queens.
Pretty good flop for my own man. E4, king queen. Waiting for the old Ashley lead. Cool. going to check raises.
Do it, baby. We were
They're both enjoying it. They're both staring each other
To be
down.
honest with you, I wasn't going to fold.
We were kind of waiting for the confrontation at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure it will come at some point, but I think even Ashley isn't going to go too crazy with 8 deuce.
New player Tom Fleischer in seat 1, taken over from Subworth. Lives in Bournemouth.
2 calls.
He had a bit of a feud with Scott Gledhill, didn't he, Simon Fleischer?
Yeah, I think in Fleischer's older days he used to like a bit of trash talking.
Player 5 calls.
But,
Player 6 folds.
no, he's a nice guy, really.
Oh, I love this hand.
Is it suited?
You love every hand, don't you, Ashley?
2.
It's a bit of ash.
King. Player 5 checks.
Top pair for Shelley here. But Fleischer looks like he's going to come out betting.
Yeah, it's one of those flops that's good to bet if you missed it because people haven't hit that very often. Very dry.
Player 2 calls.
No, he's at least going to call. But looks like he might
Player
raise.
5 raises to 160.
I quite like this play from Ashley. Actually, he's
120 more.
he knows that if he just calls behind out of position, he's going to be in a difficult spot with middle pair. So he's almost turning his made hand into a bluff somewhat.
Asking a question here of Scott Shelley. We can see he's well ahead. Can he see that?
And 10 more.
And I think with Ashley's reputation, Scott's not going to fold just yet.
Jack.
Certainly not now. It's a shame in a way because had he just had a weakish top pair,
Player 5 bets 325.
this would be a much more difficult situation. As it is his hand is very knotted indeed.
$325.
The decision is to call or to raise. Always so difficult to put your opponent on a set, and that's about the only thing that's beating him at this point.
24.
Absolute brick on the river. What's the value bet here? Well, you can see he's probably not going to get much out of Hames anyway.
I
but
bet really, really small.
a couple of hundred, 250.
Yeah, just hope that Ashley has something, or hope that Ashley might just go crazy and check raise all in or something. So it just looks a lot like Ashley has nothing, unfortunately.
It's your flush.
Yeah, I mean that is a possibility. He had a flush draw. In which case, a pair of sevens would be good.
Is this just posturing, or is he actually thinking about this?
I mean, from Ashley's point of view, Scott's bet looks very call me, call me, call me. Which is a bad sign when you've got third pair.
Just get the impression he's trying to convince himself to call this bet.
I think as well, he's lost a few pots recently, and I think he'd quite like to win one. And you can't win by folding.
Shelley has shown strength right from the start of this hand. Wow. He just didn't believe him.
Yeah.
He's going to believe now.
Turn card, which is really unfortunate because say if it was like a 10, Scott might not, he probably wouldn't have even value bet the river. Just because he turned top 2 that he had to value that.
We'll give Shelley credit for excellent bet sizing on the end to get the absolute maximum out of his 2 pair.
Come spade on the river or like dodgy cards.
Come jack of spades, what would you have
Player 3 folds. Also, player 4 raises to 25.
So Gledhill, who we've not seen involved in too many hands thus far, makes it 25. And Hames says, no,
Player
60.
5 raises to 60. Player 6 folds.
Imagine there was 4 of them.
Ashley's not in the mood to fold, I think, at this point.
And nor will Fleischer be with those cards. Standard play would be to make it 150,
Player 1
180.
raises to 175.
Oh, look what Shelley's woken up with behind.
Wow.
This is when you love to play this game. A raise, a re-raise, and you've got kings in behind.
Fleischer's going to be in a world of pain in a minute.
Player
I mean,
4
this.
folds. Player 5 folds.
This is a cold 5
25.
bet from Scott, which is an incredibly strong play. It's not a play he's going to do often without a hand, and because of that, Queens is not looking brilliant here, but certainly, I don't know, it's very difficult to fold. Scott's got a pretty solid image, I'd say. I don't think he's going to do this very often. I think Fleischer does know that.
Well, this would be a superb laydown if Fleischer can find it. I'm not sure I could in this position. And if he doesn't think this is a bluff, because of what you've said, Simon, what hands could he possibly have? Aces, kings, ace, king, possibly jacks, or is that too strong a move for jacks?
I'm not sure what he'd do with jacks. I think he might just call.
Time.
But then even then, if that's a close one, it's hard to see him have worse hands than queens. A very small percentage of the time I'd say he has a bluff, but really, really small percentage.
Well, I think Fleischer's been put on the clock here, so he's got to make his mind up. And he is torn, you can see it. He's counting out chips. Remember, he's only just arrived at the table.
Player 1 fold.
That is a heroic laydown.
$50 to see?
Oh, you've got to give him 50 to do.
You know how to exchange at the table, isn't it?
Absolutely superb from Fleischer. That really is. It's so hard to do.
Yeah, but since no one else
And when he
was there,
sees
that
this
was the right
back,
time.
he will be giving himself a proverbial pat on the back. Terrific laydown. Saved himself a lot. Well, it's high-octane stuff here at the PKR London Cash Game. We've just seen wonderful laydown from Tom Fleischer, laying down queens against Shelley's Cowboys.
Really?
He didn't show him either, in case you were wondering.
Pentacle.
In some ways, it's reassuring though that you can watch it
Player
back on
4 raises
TV
to 25.
and know whether
Player
you're
5
right
calls. Player 6 folds.
or wrong.
25 to call.
Haven't played
Player
quite
1
about it
calls.
yet, Ash. I've been trying.
Player 2 calls.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
Player 3 calls.
Well, we've got ourselves a family pot here with 5 players involved.
6 jack. Player 2 checks. Player 3 checks. 4 checks. 5 checks.
Fleischer with top pair.
Player 1 bets 65. 2 folds. 3 folds. 4 folds and
Would you like that flop?
So that's a few chips back for Tom.
2 queens.
Scott's a bit frustrated. The guy Tom folded queens there.
Be a bit upset if you did.
I think he's trying to needle him, pretend
No,
like it was a bad fold.
How big a part of poker, Simon, is temperament? Not just in that kind of a situation where you're kind of wondering, did I do the right thing? But also just generally not going on tilt, not letting bad beats upset you, that kind of thing.
It's absolutely a huge part of the game. They're really good and successful players. Have incredibly good temperaments and keep their tilt down to an absolute minimum. I mean, it's all well and good if you play great 95% of the time, but then that 5% that you tilt off, you end up eliminating all the money you might win when you play well.
That's why I was puzzling. It took so long.
This is the Scott Shelley we know.
Uncontested pot, taken down by Scott Shelley.
I started laughing when I looked at that hand.
He's had a really good start. His stint at the table.
Didn't have aces though.
Those reds, by the way, are worth 5. Green and purple's 25, and the orange and black's 100 apiece.
Look down the king of hearts. I'm like, squeeze it. We found his brother.
You can tell you play a lot of
Musa has the button.
What?
when you're like excited. When
Oh
you
yeah. It's the best when you're
And
short.
for once, no straddle.
You saw a king first card. It's like sick excitement. Seriously.
I believe it.
Player 2 folds.
It's so annoying when you get like the bad card first. Like you get 5 and the aces behind.
25.
The ace first.
They say the hooks are one of the hardest hands to play. Simon, do you concur with that?
5 folds.
Yeah, I mean you're pretty happy when you get them, but yeah, I think usually in post-flop situations they're difficult because you have an overcard more often than not, and whenever you have an under pair, it's always a difficult hand to play.
Well, that's the kind of flop you're looking for with pair of jacks.
Yeah, he's flopped really well there.
4 bets. 85.
85 to call. Big play on me.
Well, Gledhill with top pair, of course, so Musa enjoying this.
Scott Gledhill's actually primarily a Polymer Omaha player. That's what he plays sort of 99% of the time, so this will be somewhat of an unusual experience for him playing No Limit. But I'm sure he's very competent.
Player 4 checks.
Yeah, I'm somewhat surprised that he's betting on that turn with a 4 straight out there.
Well, he's posing the question to Gledhill, who can't answer it.
I think he was just betting to then be able to check back the river. It worked out for him.
So 160 profit in that hand for Musa. Here's how we stand then. McPherson 13.85 to the good, and there's confirmation of Shelley's superstar, $1,100 to the good.
Yeah, like Scotty did to you in that spot, sort of thing. You'd think, oh, maybe he's like.
Yeah, I think maybe, but there's
But
like
yeah.
the 3%.
Nah, it's bigger than 3%. It's like at least 10.
We've actually in the part.
I suppose. Yeah.
Tentacle.
Yeah.
Player 1 folds.
Raise.
Player 2 raises to 25. 3 folds.
So modest raise from Shelley. Picked up per pocket pair here.
20 to call.
It's a fairly loose call, but he's on the button with 8-7 offsuit.
4 called, yeah.
Games, as per usual, not going to be left out.
6 folded.
And then want to be dealt your hand if you folded there.
It's only 25 as well. It's only 2.5 big blinds.
2, 3, queen.
So Hames has picked up the flush draw here.
I like this play by Holmes actually. He's on this flop with a flush draw, and it's also been when there's one high card and low cards.
Player 2 calls. 4
So
folds.
a flop doesn't hit many people,
1 call.
and you get a lot of folds.
Jack.
And just makes the flush. Second up flush at that.
Player 5 bet 75.
Do you think that Shelley is more concerned about Hames having a queen or about the flush? Because the way he bet the flop, Hames, maybe wouldn't have told me if I was playing against him that he was on a flush draw, but...
No. Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate the way that it came another high card because it made the nines look a lot weaker.
Yeah.
Who picks the player that wins the pot, or?
Yeah, right.
Just get the deal.
Okay.
Rather killed the action.
It's convenient.
But he'll take the pot nonetheless.
It must always be frustrating when you're Ashley and you don't get action with your big hands because
Player 2 raises.
you think when you're involved in every hand, you should
Player 3
you're bluffing a lot. You should get
Player 4 calls.
action with your big hands as well. So he's just about unlucky. Scott was a bit too weak to carry on there.
Well, Shelley's excellent session continues. He's picked up pocket rockets here. And look at this. Hames, with the worst starting hand in poker, 7 deuce, is raising to 105. Well, you got to admire his bravado.
I think I saw Scott actually literally just lick his chops at that moment. Yeah, he's loving life at I think right now, and I honestly think Ashley's just looked at 7-2 and thought, I want to win this hand. I don't care what cards I've got.
Four folds.
Oh, he's just gone all in.
Oh, he's gone all in with 7 deuce, and what a time to do that. Wow.
Here we go, come on.
Percentages are not good in Hames' favour here.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, that's decent.
And he's running cards.
Oh dear, this doesn't look too good for him.
And that's all over, I'm afraid. There's no card for him. That's one of those horrible moments. It could have been such a heroic bluff. In the end, he found Shelley with the bullets. And that was all she wrote, I'm afraid.
It is amazing when it works, but you might feel a bit silly when it doesn't.
Cheers,
Well, the table will be a distinctly duller place without Ashley Hames. He's been excellent value to watch. It was a very brave move, but unfortunately the timing of it couldn't really have been any worse. Shelley really enjoying it.
That was quite a quick exit from the table.
Yeah, I think if you're going to go out, that's the way to do it, really, isn't it? 7 deuce. I basically, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm going to show off and around and take someone off a really big hand here. And yeah, just did one of them things. It just didn't work out. He had aces. But yeah, I was getting it a little low, and running out of time, and I'm just like, I like to, get the chips in. They feel better in than out.
I hear you.
And, they were suited. that for me is a no-brainer right there. So I thought I could take Scott off, ace, queen, something like that.
I'd seen the hand that you'd sort of tangled with him earlier, the 9-7. With that tilted you a little bit?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying it. That was really daft of me. I think the lesson is not to get too emotional about things. That's my problem. It always has been. I was just, I was just showing off and being a prat, really. Don't do it at home. But I tell you, the good thing is that this weekend I do have a former Miss Great Britain staying at my flat.
Oh, tell us more about this.
So kind of, it all evens out, luck in the end.
What do they say? Lucky in love, unlucky at cards, or something like that. Anyhow, Shelley 25-30. He's had a phenomenal start, hasn't he? McPherson enjoying himself too. Hames is out. $2,000 down, but with a decent weekend to look forward to.
So as the action rumbles on, we say goodbye to Ashley Hames, a valiant charge that started well, but ultimately met with a slightly foolhardy end. Cheer up, Ash. Things could be worse.
Well, I used to be a very hopeful young man. I thought maybe today I can turn the tables. Sadly, not to be.
Was it worth it for the view? It all looked good from up there. It all comes and goes. It all comes and goes. All these words.
My trousers are currently held together with gaffer tape and chewing gum. Well, I kind of went with my gut, and my gut was wrong.
all comes and goes.
There we go, you know, onwards and downwards.